This is the all-new 2016 Hyundai Tucson, and Hyundai is having the launch event here in beautiful British Columbia on the Sunshine Coast. Now, this vehicle has grown in size. The Tucson has always been a great product, but it was a little bit small, and now they've made it bigger to compete with the RAV4, the CR-V, the Escape, you name it. There's literally dozens of small crossovers and SUVs. The vehicle is wider by 3 centimeters. The wheelbase is longer by 3 centimeters. They made it 1 centimeter lower. And the overall length has grown by 6.5 centimeters, which makes it now a compelling choice for a small family wanting an SUV. And that's where the market is going. People are flocking to this type of vehicle. Now, Hyundai has gone a couple of steps farther than the competition because they want to stand out from the crowd. They want to shock this segment. Now, what they've got, this is the base model. It's got the 2-liter gas direct injection engine. They also have a turbocharged version with a dual clutch transmission. We're going to try that one just a little bit later on. On the outside, you get LED marker lights, you get LED daytime running lights, you also get fog lights as standard equipment. On the higher turbocharged version, you can actually get LED projector headlamps or HID headlamps, depending on which trim you get. The standard wheel, the one you see here, is 17-inch alloy wheels, and if you get the turbo, you get 19-inch alloy wheels. Around the back, you'll notice there's dual exhaust off to one side. Really looks quite smart. That's only on the turbo version. Now, one great feature on the outside of this vehicle and the inside is the tailgate. You only need to keep your key fob on your body or in your purse, and when you walk up to the back, in 3 seconds, the tailgate automatically opens because it detects that key fob. You don't have to use your hands or your feet or anything. You just have to stand there, and that is a fantastic system. Now, the base model comes with a nice feature. That's a backup camera and Bluetooth connectivity. If you want to get the big 8-inch screen that you see here, you need to get the top trim on the 2-liter gas or the top 2 levels of the turbo version. So that's a nice size screen. You also get a screen in the middle of the instrument cluster for quick information. Now, here's some of the features you can get in this vehicle which make it stand out from much of the competition. Leather wrapped steering wheel that can also come as a heated steering wheel. Heated front seats, of course, important for Canada, but on a hot day, ventilated seats on the top trim level. Heated rear seats are also available in this Tucson, and this massive panoramic sunroof. So a lot of features, depending on your appetite for price, you can get in this vehicle. But one thing that has changed on all trim levels is the interior space. It's going to make this attractive to a young, active couple, but I think there's also 2 other categories: people with young children and empty nesters. This is a nice size choice. It's got 164 horsepower and 151 foot-pounds of torque with a 6-speed automatic transmission that does a very good job of being in the right gear most of the times, and it's very smooth. It's smoother actually than the turbo I'm just about to drive. And the other thing about this vehicle, even though it's longer, it's bigger, and it's just slightly heavier than the old outgoing Tucson, it actually has a 3% improvement in fuel economy. The body on all models is 48% more rigid, which makes it feel much more substantial. It has a quality feel, great ride on the road, and with the longer wheelbase, definitely feels planted as well. So I think that they've done a fantastic job of making this. All right, now we're driving the turbo, and there is a big difference in torque especially. Horsepower from this 1.6-liter turbocharged engine is 175 horsepower, but torque is 195 pound-feet. And the nice thing about the torque comes on at 1,500 RPM all the way to 4,500 RPM. So that's the meat of the driving range that most people are driving in. So that's all good stuff. On top of that, this new Tucson with the turbo gets a dual clutch transmission, 7 gears. It's an in-house unit, and it's done a pretty good job here today. I find it best when it's up at speed. At low speeds, because really a dual clutch transmission is really a manual transmission that's automatically controlled, every once in a while it confuses itself a little bit. What gear does it want to be in? Maybe a little bit of a jump and a start once in a while, but that's not uncommon with dual clutch transmissions, which begs the question, which one should you get? If you're somebody who does a lot of city commuting, stop and go driving, is the 2-liter going to be the one that's going to fill your needs? Probably. Is the dual clutch going to be the one you want if you want a little bit more spirited driving? Absolutely. Do you need the extra power? No, you don't. Is the extra power nice? Absolutely. So it really comes down to what is it that you're looking for. Now, the interesting thing talking to the Hyundai gang here today on the Sunshine Coast is guess what vehicle they targeted for driving dynamics? They targeted the Volkswagen Tiguan, and this vehicle does feel really quite planted. We're doing a lot of twisty driving up and down the coast here. It's a very nicely balanced vehicle, very quiet. Compared to the set that it's up against, the RAV4, the CR-V, and the Escape, it's the quietest of those vehicles. Is it the quietest of all small SUVs? I'm not sure, but it definitely does feel refined. There's a sport mode now. You can drive it in sport, you can drive it in eco, and you can also drive it in just the default setting. So the turbo is great. Is it the right one for you? I really urge you to drive them.